Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the fourth instalment of our Smart Construction webinar series, iMC 2 on excavators. My name is Scott Berry, and I'm the Business Manager for Construction Excavators at Komatsu Australia and New Zealand. And today I'm going to take you through our intelligent machine control technology and how it's integrated into our customers' businesses, creates improvements in efficiencies and cost reduction, and also addresses the skilled labour shortage in Australia. Just so there's no distractions during the presentation, I'll be turning the camera off and I'll turn it back on during the Q&A session at the end. So I've worked for Komatsu for coming up to around 9 years, and personally just watching the technology evolve with iMC and our smart construction solutions has been quite amazing. I can really see how it's helping our customers and improving the way they work. So in this webinar, we'll be taking a brief look back at our iMC 1 excavators and the technology they utilise. We'll then dive into what's new with our 2.0 machines and their technology. And then we're going to hear from some of our customers and how iMC helps their operations. And following this, like I said, we'll have a Q&A session. So firstly, to understand our iMC 2.0 technology, it's important that we have some background knowledge on our iMC 1 and where we've come from. So let's look at our iMC 1 machines, the first release for intelligent machine control and the technology they've utilised over the past 7 years. Komatsu's original range of iMC excavators were an industry-leading first, not only for safety and security, but also for efficiency and cost saving. Our excavator range started off with the PC 210 LCI-10 released to Australia in 2016. It was a Tier 4 interim machine with an operating weight range of 22.6 to 23.8 tonnes and an engine output of 118 kilowatts. That was followed by the PC 360 LCI-11 in 2018, which was a Tier 4 final emission compliant machine with an operating weight in the range of 35.9 to 37.4 tonnes and an engine output of 192 kilowatts. Both of the iMC 1 excavators used identical technology, which included stroke sensing hydraulic cylinders with factory integrated sensors which monitor boom, arm and bucket position, allowing the control system to know the exact position of the bucket cutting edge at all times. An IMU, inertial measuring unit, that monitors the pitch and roll movements of the machine in order to produce highly accurate finishing work. 2 GNSS antennas responsible for receiving satellite signals and sending them to a GNSS controller in order to accurately position the machine on the job site. A large 12-inch monitor allowing great visibility and ease of use with a touchscreen icon interface rather than a multi-step menu, and that was to simplify operations. A unique facing angle compass which indicates the angle of the bucket in relation to the target surface. This assists the operator to accurately position the bucket edge square to the target surface. An auto grade assist function for arm movement. An auto stop control function for the boom and bucket movement. Oh, I've gone a bit funny, sorry. And a minimum distance control for the bucket edge, all of which we'll go through in more detail when we look at the 2.0 excavator shortly. So let's talk about the iMC 2.0 machines. When iMC 1 came on the scene, the benefits were about increasing the ease of operation and productivity. But what's exciting about the 2.0 excavators is the evolution of those features and the addition of some new ones like auto tilt control and the advancements in our satellite technology. Also, the new features are having an impact for our customers who I mentioned earlier you'll hear from later in the presentation. Now let's take a look at the 2.0 excavator range introduced to Australia and New Zealand in 2021. And we start with the PC 210 LCI-11 with an operating weight between 23 and 23.8 tonnes and an engine output of 123 kilowatts. Just as a side note, this has now evolved to a Tier 4 final compliant machine, as all of our -11 excavators are Tier 4 final emission compliant. Then we step up to the new PC 290 LCI-11 with an operating weight between 29.8 and 31.2 tonnes, which has an engine output of 159 kilowatts. I said new for this PC 290 because whilst iMC 2 is new to all of these machines, the PC 290 didn't have iMC previously. And currently the biggest excavator in our iMC 2.0 range is the PC 360 LCI-11 with an operating weight between 35.9 and 37.4 tonne with an engine output of 202 kilowatts. Now, I'm not sure how many of you actually know we're about to introduce a new model in the iMC2 range, and that's the PC490 LCI-11. This is really an exciting release because it's a bigger machine with a number of customers already lining up for this one. The first unit has arrived and it's in our Waco branch in Brisbane, where we're getting our local items fitted, checked and set up in our system so we can release it later this year. The PC490 LCI-11 is essentially the bigger brother of the three smaller siblings. Similar in all operations, it has an operating weight between 47.9 and 49.7 tonne, although it may just tweak the scales a little more with all the iMC components added. This one's got an engine output of 270 kilowatts. Now, looking at the technology that's gone into the iMC 2.0 excavators, the new excavators have a new monitor or control box, which has a more compact 10.4-inch profile. It's more streamlined and not quite as big as the original. The control box is not only a monitor so the operator can see where he's in relation to the design, but it also figures out the position and direction of the machine by calculating the positional relationship of each multi-GNSS antenna. It also works out the coordinates of the current bucket edge by calculating the machine position, machine direction, work equipment posture, machine pitch angle and machine roll angle. And it figures out the distance the bucket cutting edge is from the finished surface design by calculating the target bucket edge coordinates and comparing them to the actual bucket edge coordinates. We have access to more satellites than ever before. Our new range of excavators have two new multi-constellation GNSS antennas, allowing positioning information from American, Russian, Chinese, European and Japanese satellites, enabling the machines to have a high positioning accuracy due to an increase in satellite availability. iMC 2.0 excavators utilise an IMU sensor on either a tilt hitch or tilt bucket setup, allowing for auto tilt control. And our new excavators use an updated GNSS controller with a combined 4G modem installed, reducing the number of components in the cab compared to the previous model. And there's another IMU on the upper structure that determines the pitch and roll movements of this machine and communicates this to the control box in order to produce highly accurate finishing work. Our hydraulic cylinders utilise factory integrated sensors to monitor boom, arm and bucket position, allowing the control system to know the exact positioning of the bucket cutting edge at all times. And the semi-auto and manual switch, design surface offset function and manual tilt function can all be operated with switches on the new proportional control levers. Now I'll take a look at the new machine control additions and functions in the 2.0 iMC excavator technology. They improve the work efficiency, allowing less skilled operators to carry out work usually performed by more experienced operators. This essentially opens the door for a broader range of options when customer needs to employ operators. The bucket angle hold control, in which the system automatically maintains the operator set bucket angle throughout the entire grading pass. There's the auto tilt attachment control, which automatically tilts the bucket side to side to suit the design surface and returns it to horizontal front loading. And there's also minimum distance control, which automatically selects the bucket point closest to the surface. We have auto stop control, which prevents the bucket edge digging through the finished design surface, and auto grade assist, which allows the boom to automatically adjust the bucket height. And now I'm just going to go a little bit deeper on each of these points. With the bucket angle hold feature, when the operator places the bucket on the design, the surface and operates the arm lever either in or out, the 2.0 excavator system will keep the bucket at that angle as the arm moves, improving the final grade accuracy and increasing ease of operation. The animation there on the screen is a great example of what this would look like as the operator moves the arm both towards and away from the machine. The function can be overridden by the operator at any point by moving the bucket as normal, or it can be turned off in the screen if required. Komatsu's new auto tilt attachment function automatically matches the bucket angle with the design of the slope when the bucket is moved close and will return it flat when moved away for loading. The benefit to a business is the ability to maintain great accuracy over extended periods of time, minimising the possibility of rework and therefore increasing the efficiency of the operation. Again, the animation on the right of the screen shows what it would look like when the auto tilt function is used. The dotted line represents the design's finish to surface level. This feature reduces operator fatigue and error as it simplifies grading tasks while also improving the grading accuracy of less experienced operators. And the benefit to a business with this one is the ability to maintain great accuracy over extended periods of time, minimising the possibility of rework and therefore increasing the efficiency of the operation again. Komatsu's minimum distance control function automatically selects the attachment's point of reference based on which tip of the attachment is closest to the design surface. This minimises the need for operator input, reducing fatigue, preventing rework and increasing productivity. This function is critical for the auto stop control and the auto tilt control functions in preventing over-excavation of the design surface. When operating a boom or bucket during the semi-auto mode, Komatsu's auto stop control feature prevents over-excavation or damage to the design surface by automatically stopping the bucket tip when it reaches the finished surface level of the design. An example in the animation, and you can see in the control box, change with the tip location also. This allows the operator to focus on areas of operation rather than keeping an eye on the numbers on the control box for height or depth indication, as with guidance-only systems. This aids in allowing less experienced operators to work more accurately and efficiently, and therefore helping the business become more productive. When the operator moves the arm while digging in semi-auto mode, the auto grade assist function maintains the position of the attachment above the design grade through each pass by raising the boom automatically to match the operator's input from the arm or combined input of the arm and bucket. The animation on the screen shows the operation of the boom and the arm, whilst the operator really just operates the arm function. Also, the arm starts to move past vertical. The operator is utilising his boom down lever in order to extend his working range. The auto grade assist function allows the operator to carry out rough digging without worrying about over-excavation. It also allows the operator to perform trimming work while only needing to operate the arm, and if required, the operator can manually adjust the bucket angle to ensure optimum trimming result. Komatsu's 2.0 iMC excavator range has the ability to change the hydraulic attachment flow in the cab, and operators are able to turn iMC on or off and increase or decrease the surface offsets, all without having to take their hands off the levers. So when all these individual features are brought together, it really does bring greater productivity and it makes it easier for the operator. It minimises the ability for mistakes. It all leads to a more efficient and safer workplace. And I thought it'd be really valuable to share what a couple of our customers have to say about it. So Anna's going to switch us over to Mount Gambier, where we're going to meet with Marty at Crossmuller.
I'm Martin Gibson. I work in training and assessment for Crossmuller Constructions. Crossmuller are a construction solutions company. We have a multitude of different aspects in the company, but primarily we offer construction solutions. Crossmuller Constructions was acquired 5 years ago by the Ball Group. We can offer design consultation, site preparation through to turnkey solutions for our clients. Currently the site we're on here today is in Mount Gambier, South Australia. It's our own site, ready for development for a future board plant facility. Could be anything up to a 5-year project for us here. We've introduced the PC360 LCI machine to site, which is very efficient in what we're doing. We do have a lot of detailed design and trim work here. We currently have 60 Komatsu machines, 41 of those being excavators. The advantages of having the LCI is the upload of design from an office, which could be loaded into the machine. Its automation systems on board make our design work here quite easy. We've chosen Komatsu because of our strong relationship we have with them. It's been an ongoing commitment to Komatsu for multiple reasons. From a servicing point of view, it's easy to stock one manufacturer's items. There's an online ordering system for Komatsu, so our fleet department love that option. So what we like about the iMC 2.0 machine is the data that we can retrieve from the system. It helps us plan the design. It won't let us cut below design. So once we've got the data in the machine, it's again easy for an operator just to follow that design. Since 2018, we've taken on board the iMC machine. We've had many discussions with Komatsu just to talk about our needs as a client, and Komatsu have really listened to what our needs are. The iMC 2.0 machine is jam-packed with features, but some of the key ones that stand out for us are the auto tilt control. bucket angle hold and the GNSS multiple satellite antennas. That was really beneficial because a lot of the time we're up against structures, and the GNSS has really changed that because we've got a multitude of satellites which don't lose signal. So we can be up alongside a building and we've still got full control with that machine. So from an operator's point of view, once those files are in the machine, it always holds the design. One of the key features we like with the iMC 2.0 is the auto tilt control. That allows us to sit in one position, reach around one work zone, and just let the automation do its thing. It becomes very efficient to do that without having to constantly move the machine to work that one area. We also like the feature of data that you can get from the iMC system. We can roll out efficiencies, idle times, fuel usage to the operators. It makes it a little bit more interactive for them. The support that Komatsu offer us at Crossmuller is paramount in our decision to have the iMC control. We can pick up the phone at any time with confidence that we're going to get the right person to help us problem solve. We can ask for someone to come to site to give our employees extra training on the equipment if we need it. I think we've proved and trialled Komatsu for many years now. We have no need to look elsewhere. Komatsu Smart Construction Solutions really gives us the confidence to continue our relationship moving into the future.
Now we're going to cross to New Zealand, where our customer McPherson's is going to tell us about their iMC excavator experiences.
McPherson Contractors started in 1997.
We established the company 33 odd years ago, just starting as a one-man band. Today we preside over probably 40 bits of kit. We do an array of work from rural development to industrial, residential and subdivision work. I had a talk to a guy by the name of Dave Asplet, who introduced me to Komatsu machinery. We have found the machines to be good, we've found the service to be excellent, and that set the tone for our relationship with Komatsu product, and that really has unwavered over the 33 years.
Today we're here at Ankriff, that's one of our subdivisions. The excavator that we most recently purchased, PC 210i-11.
It's going to be basically doing all our stormwater, soaked trenches and that sort of thing.
The iMC machines now fit in with our the way we work, and it gives us a commercial advantage in the workplace, and we find that we can complete a lot more of our work in the 60 to 70% of full time that we were using before.
There's a lot of cool features coming out now that we're starting to use, and we're actually starting to delve into it a bit more and try and get more out of it.
Yeah, if you're able to look around, you'd see there are no pegs on site. The iMC allows us to take points all around the place. We know where they are, and they sit in the dash of the machine. And so at all times he knows exactly where he is, and there's no knocking the pegs over and no costly surveying needed to be done. It's all done through the iMC and the drone survey. Using the iMC, and in conjunction with the iMC, we use the drone survey through Smart Construction, and that allows us to 3D model most sites, or all sites that we go to work on, and then we can just ad-lib a client's brief over top of that, and it tells us exactly where we want to put stuff or where we want to take it away, and it stops us from over-digging and under-digging all around the place. So those days are gone. We're now top model, we do it once, we do it right.
Ray, with the drone flights that he does, we get a very good lay of the land. Assures us that we're actually getting paid for what we do.
A lot of the time we used to use string lines and someone grade checking with lasers and that sort of thing. That just takes another person away from having to be there and check and survey. So this means the operator and digger can just get the job done all in one go. Everything's a lot more accurate. We can budget a bit better on what materials we're going to need for drainage aggregates and that sort of thing. It just means our trench is dug nice and neat, not over dug. I think it helps us with efficiency, productivity, and just with our new young generation of operators coming through. They love the technology, and they seem to excel at this GPS and using it. And they seem to be able to use every feature of it a lot better than, I guess, the older generation. So it's been good that way, and we're starting to see the benefits. Like the auto dig, you just click the button and basically it means that the operator can't over dig too deep, so that's been beneficial as well. The smart construction remote access is one thing we use quite a lot. Just it means we can keep track of what the guys are doing on site, give them tech support or tips and pointers as they go.
What it does do is though it gives us continuity when perhaps the digger driver or the dozer driver doesn't turn up for the day. We can place somebody else in the machine.
I've found having the operator trainers and iMC specialists great help in training new operators in the iMC product with McPherson's.
Well, we've used Komatsu for quite a few years now, and we like the reliability and the software.
With the way the industry is at the moment, with a shortage of qualified people, we're just streets ahead because we just don't want for information to go about what we do, which is move dirt. It's hugely benefit to achieve that outcome.
All right, that brings us to the end of the webinar presentation and videos from Crossmuller and McPherson's. And I've just got a few more questions for you guys. First of all, Stephen and Marty, thanks so much for spending the time to put those videos together. They're great videos, and I really enjoyed the day we spent out there, Marty, and I learned a lot. I've just got a few more questions for you guys. I might start with you, Stephen, if you don't mind. Just what advantage for purchasing the iMC excavator? Productivity, safety, ease of operator training, design accuracy, or a mix of the above?
There's a range of reasons. Like we have quite a fleet of gear now, and it's just a sense to move into the newer models coming through. They are improving in areas, making familiar changes is easy for operators. It gives our leading guys a step up into something that's got a few more features. So that equates to better productivity. They're comfortable to operate. They have good service backup. It just makes sense to keep everything familiar.
Yeah, right. And Marty, I'll ask the same question of you. What advantage would be your primary, motivator for purchasing the iMC excavator? Is it productivity, safety, again, the ease of operator training, the accuracy, or a mix of all of the above?
I definitely think, Scott, it's a mix of all the above, and same with Stephen. Like we've got 41 of your machines now, so technology just keeps advancing year after year. It just keeps advancing. So why wouldn't we delve into that, pursue our business model, which we're all for technology here at Crossmuller. So it's definitely integrates everything, that you mentioned is something where we take on board, and discussion with you guys leads us into that area as well. So like having a Komatsu excavator, then going to an intelligent Komatsu excavator, it's a bit of a no-brainer for us. It definitely, our efficiency has improved for sure.
Right. Well, while I'm talking to you, Marty, and I'll go on to the next question with you, because there's no longer need for survey pegs and surveyors having to move around the machines and obtain pickup, would you say your survey costs have improved?
Oh, absolutely. Especially right now, like the hardwood at the moment, because you always want to use hardwood pegs so that they last. Mate, they're hard to come across at the moment, and they're not cheap. So it's definitely a bonus having an intelligent machine and integrated with what our rover system does here, running around the site. Like, we can pinpoint and plot points. So we've always got that data with the machine. So absolutely, it's definitely a cost saving in relation to surveying.
And Stephen, what about you in survey? You know, as you got some efficiencies there?
Well, absolutely, there is in terms of available information. It's instant. We can not only have it on site, but we can download adjustments from the office, so we can do that remotely, which saves time and therefore cost. The other areas is that as the heat comes on, the industry and other support services, i.e. consultants and surveyors, are not readily available, or if you're working a little bit remotely, it just gives you, again, continuity of work, because you've got instant information, and there's tangible saving and reward in that. We have, however, found that the cost to some of this new technology and the implementation of it on the ground has required investment elsewhere to keep up to speed with that.
Yep.
And there's a little bit of a trade-off there in terms of cost saving plus outgoings. But we also found that we are now picking up design work, because people are saying, well, can you do this and can you do that? And we just say, yes, we are. We take that back to the office. We give it to the smart people, and they come up with something. It's implemented the next day or instantaneously. The customers like that, because we're looking for a complete outcome, and we're actually delivering that. So it's very beneficial all around.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And Marty, just jumping over to you, how easy would it, would you say it's been for your operators to understand how to apply and take advantage of iMC?
Well, definitely, it always amazes me how quick people can pick up the system. Like, it's a very user-friendly system that you've got on board, these iMC machines. And for someone that has operated to jump in the iMC, they transition quite easily. What I do find is they still want to go through the motions like an operator in auto and using multiple control. I go, don't just treat it, pull back, let the machine do its thing. So, but getting a new gun on board that really hasn't done much with an excavator, to give them a design data in the system and teach them how to use it, like, anyone can use this machine. Like, I think after a day of training here, like, if I give someone a good 8-hour day with a design on board, and they have a bit of a scratch around, mate, day 2, they're amongst it. They're all over it.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it's very easy. Yeah.
I have noticed on a couple of demo days that, the operators come in that don't sort of want to rely on it. They more want to show how they can operate. So
absolutely. They have a tendency to want to override it all the time.
Yeah.
And just pull back and let the machine do its thing. As soon as they start to take that on board, mate, they'll cut all day long, never overcut, and just follow design.
Awesome. And Stephen, you find the same thing? The operators pick it up and, they apply it and they take advantage of it?
Well, I guess there's an old adage, isn't there, that if you have a problem on your phone, give it to your grandkid, and they'll sort it out. And the diggers are the same. But one thing we don't want to get ahead of ourselves is that technology doesn't give the operators a complete understanding of how to set jobs up and what works when the light goes out. We still have to have an integration of that into operators to give them a total capacity to integrate technology with, dare I say it, common sense and practical solutions. What it does do is it gives us available and continued accuracy with what we want to do. So follow lines, that's great. But where do you start in an open field, and where do you finish, and how do you interact with other bits of machinery and kit on site, and what's good and what's not so good, So there's while the technology is absolutely outstanding and does a lot of things for us, there's still a lot we've got to do within the industry to
Sure.
have a nice mix and to utilise the technology to its maximum benefits.
Gotcha. And just on the back of that, as a rough guess, what percentage would you say IMC and smart construction has helped improve your productivity within your business? Like as a ratio or a percentage?
It's probably pretty hard to put a figure on, but I'd say that you've probably got to be looking up in the late 20s, early 30s. And if you take the fuel efficiencies into account as well, I think there's some fairly good savings to be had.
Yeah, good. Marty, do you find the same thing? What percentage do you reckon
Same thing.
construction's helped in yours?
Yeah, I think same mid 25s to 30s, Scott. Like you just look at two machines working alongside each other and the productivity out of the IMC. Definitely an improvement. You can definitely see a percentage increase on a day, but I'd say 25 minimum.
Gotcha. Well, that's all the questions I've got for you. Again, thank you so much for spending the time and hosting us to make those days. I learn a lot personally, and I really appreciate your time and for coming on today and talking with us and helping our audience. But Anna, just over to you. Have we got any questions come in from the audience while we're here?
Yes, we have. So thank you, everyone. So we're going to move on to the audience Q&A. Before I start answering asking the questions, if you've posted in anything, you can still submit your questions. So submit them at the bottom there through the Q&A panel, and we can answer them. So the first question I have here, is an IMC machine substantially more expensive than a standard machine?
Well, it costs a little bit more, but when you consider the cost of a standard machine and you put an aftermarket equivalent system on it, which is, not part of the system, and you've got, 2 suppliers and everything, then our price is kind of worked around that price of a standard machine with an aftermarket system on it. So the fact that you've got the added advantage of the integrated, sensors and cabling, and it's protected, and you've just got the single support network, it's really, I don't think it's more expensive at all. In fact, I think it's probably better, really.
Okay, another question here is, a lot of my operators are not technically savvy. You say this is easy to train, but is it really?
Look, most of the functions are generally, they're a single auto button to engage from the stick. So once it's set up and going, it is very simple, but getting it set up and that, it's a 1 or 2 step selection. Like once the design's put in there and set up, if your operator can handle a mobile phone, and like Stephen says, give it to your grandkids. If they can handle a phone, they can be taught to use the IMC machine quite easily. I mean, compared to your phone, they're pretty technical. When you get a bit of an idea of how these machines work, they're actually quite user friendly. Okay,
and it's kind of back on that question. What if I have operators that are still struggling?
Well, we've got plenty of support. That's not really a problem. We can help in a couple of ways. We can monitor the level of the IMC application through an application called iValue, and that lets us know the daily and lets you know as the customer the daily level of auto application, so we can see how long the auto is turned on for and the operator's using it versus he's not using it, and we can approach them if they need further training or guidance on that. And the other thing is we've got a combined iMC Smart Construction Help Desk, which the operator has the 1300 hotline in their cab, number in their cab, and they can put a call in for assistance at most times of the day. It's combined with our Smart Construction remote tool, and we can dial into the monitor and see what the operator's doing and help them guide the selecting and function that they require for the job. So whilst they can't quite get it, they can be on the phone to one of our guys, and our guys can be in their screen sort of setting things up for them if they're not quite sure.
Okay, another question that I've got here, and it's probably also for Martin and Steve. Does the machine control make the digging functions operate slower?
I'll jump on that one, Stephen, first. No, definitely not. It's traditionally looking at a machine with IMC and working your design. it goes as quick as any standard machine if you were trimming by eye. Definitely doesn't slow the machine down because the operator function is still functioning like a normal operator, only he's in auto. So if anything, he's not going to overcut where you need to refill. So that's the advantage of that. Let's throw it over to you, Stephen, for your input.
Yeah, I would agree with that. The levers are actioned by the operator, depending on how fast or slow he wishes to go. If the operator can overcome not looking at the screen to actually do his work, but to look at the screen just to check his work, then the digger functions just like a normal digger. The technology is there not to do what you're doing, but to check what you're doing. And I think if they get a good grasp of that, then they'll just fly through their work.
Agree.
Great.
Have you got anything on that, Scott?
No, I'm happy with these guys. These guys are the operators. I'm the business manager. So there isn't any reason why it should be slower, like he says, like they say. But yeah, no, it's good to hear from hands-on experience.
Okay, another question here is, so you're talking about support, but who provides the support? Is it Komatsu or a third party?
No, it's not a third party. It's all Komatsu. We've got like that support center that we said, they're all Komatsu employees, and we've got in every region, we've got technology assistants, which are around the region. Yeah, no, it's all Komatsu support. We do not at this stage use any third party support.
Okay, thanks, Scott. So with that concludes our questions in our webinar today. Thank you everyone for attending, and we hope that you enjoyed the webinar. You will receive a survey on the presentation as soon as this webinar ends, and we appreciate if you can give us your feedback. An email will also come out in about 24 hours where you're able to access this recording, and then we'll post up shortly the other webinars that will be happening next year. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Martin. Thank you, Scott. And thank you, Steve. And we hope you all have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, everybody. See you later.
Thank you. Go, Scott. Thank you.
See ya.